It's Monday. Taylor Lewan is on the show, officiating content on the way. Also, are the Packers making the playoffs? Question mark, exclamation point. All the fallout from yesterday with your boy and myself. Also, will the Jags grab the 1 seed in the AFC? If they might beat the Bengals and get that tonight, Monday, baby. Let's do it. This week was really something. You guys, we have so much to get into. It's a happy, happy Monday. We appreciate the chat comments. And I just want to say, Marissa McBride is here. She showed up, and she's also wearing an Eagle shirt. And I asked her, how you feeling? And you said you're proud.
I'm proud of my boys. We got a butt kicking. It is what it is. No excuses. But we'll be fine. We still got the best record.
Let's make a bet. Do you think that when we ask Taylor Lewan about Big Dom and all of that, he's going to come on the side of Big Dom or on the side of Shanahan and the rest of the world?
That's a great question.
What will Taylor say?
Something in me is saying he's going to like Big Dom. I don't know.
Me too. It's going to be like
kindred spirit.
He's for the boys.
Yeah.
And Greenlaw doesn't really have a lot of goodwill. Yeah, she's doing his thing. He is part of the team. Big Dom's part of the team.
I see that for him.
We got Taylor Lewan on the show here. Lots to get into. But let's start with last night. Oh my gosh. Last night was really something. Packers knocking off the defending champion Chiefs to pick up their 4th win in 5 games. What does that do? Carry the 1, check the direction of the weather. That moves them into the last NFC wildcard spot. What? If you take a look at these standings, and they are in fact wild, my friends, living up to the name. 4-way tie for those last 2 spots. They're 6-6. Oh my gosh. Vikings and Packers, they won the tiebreakers, the Rams and Seahawks. They're on the outside looking in. This race has officially caught the fire. So we'll get into the officiating with Lewan, but I want to focus on what we saw out of Green Bay last night. This is the best we've ever seen Jordan Love. And there's the play, of course, and but there's also just what he looked like. I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with the confidence, the swagger, the swagoo, whatever you want to call it. He looked clutch, and he was making throw after throw all night long. LaFleur, by the way, who doesn't get a lot of play on our show and doesn't get a lot of play nationally, and I loved seeing how juiced he was in the locker room afterwards. LaFleur, this one's for you. This black coffee from Starbucks this morning, cheers to you, with the straw, the whole thing. This was an absolutely masterful game that he called, and he really just kept the Chiefs' defense, which is, of course, a big area of concern. We'll get into that all week, I'm sure. He kept him guessing. He just seemed to push all the right buttons in every big moment. It was really fun to watch. Green Bay didn't have a single 3-and-out, didn't have a drive with fewer than 7 plays in it all night long. And, by the way, LaFleur moves to 16 and zip, undefeated in December with that win. Do not mess with LaFleur when it gets cold at Lambeau. And this was a big-time performance. I think we're again seeing this sort of potential of the quarterback of the future that's going to give them, I don't know, do you think you got your next guy for 20 years, Eric? You're the resident Packers fan.
100%.
This is him?
There's 2 things Packers do well. We draft quarterbacks, right? And we draft wide receivers.
Okay, well, it's sort of been an ascension. It's not like obviously bright lights last night. What he did last night was spectacular, but it's been going on for a couple of weeks. He's been stringing these together, so it's not just like we're waking up and saying this. Over the last 3, it's 3 straight wins. He's thrown the 2nd most yards. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's tied with Dak Prescott for the 2nd best passer rating in the league. He has figured it out, and LaFleur always has it figured out in the last month of the year. He's a procrastinator like me. You don't do anything until it's the last minute. And all of a sudden, you can't tell me the Packers couldn't mess with the best. That they could mess with the best of them. People don't want to face this team. They're favored to make the playoffs at -215 over at FanDuel Sportsbook. And you don't want to know why? It's the schedule. I texted a Packers fan this morning, and I said, I think you're making the playoffs. And he said, no, 1 game at a time. Eric, you know him. He's like, no, 1 game at a time.
Look at this.
I know. Well, look at this. Eric, tell me these teams. Come on.
Oh, we got the Giants. That's a W. Bucks, whatever, Baker. That's a W. Carolina, is that even a team? W.
Oh, boy.
Vikings, they beat us last time. We got them in prime time. We're running them. Vikings.
And then there'll be some insults. They're gonna make the playoffs in Week 18 and just
60,
crush the Bears.
At least.
It'll happen. They don't play another team like you just said. None of those teams have winning records. They don't play a single one along the way, and so they could legitimately win out here. What a turnaround for LaFleur and this squad. So lost in all the officiating and all the defense and the Taylor Swift and the Simone Biles, lost in all of it. LaFleur, chef's kiss to you, chef's kiss to Jordan Love on the Chiefs side, and chef's kiss to Christian Watson's family, who they're all there in full force. They're all tweeting. They're watching this kid who's grown up wanting to be this receiver, and he got so much. I'm sorry to say this about your fan base. A lot of like not nice things about him, I feel like, from this fan base, and now everyone should apologize and say, you're our guy. You're doing it when it counts. He looked so great last night. The confidence, now it's all happening. Chiefs side. Oh, where should we start here? I mean, there's only one concern that I have, and it's just the defensive side of the ball, and it is the injuries. Drew Tranquill, Brian Cook, that's really rough, but this was more about the Packers being on point than Kansas City messing it up, in my opinion. But it does shake up the top of the playoff picture. Here's what I mean. The Dolphins, they're not the 1 seed. Ravens are the 2. Jacksonville's 3 as of this morning. Guys, Jacksonville jumps and moves to the 1 spot in the AFC if they beat the Bengals tonight, and Jake Browning and all that, and Coach Lou. So what? This is pretty sexy. The Chiefs, wow, they go down to 4. So we're entering the final stretch, and all the playoff races are tight as can be. This is really as good as it gets. Chiefs, I think they're fine. People want to say they're unfocused. Maybe. I don't know. Get focused then. Figure it out. But it's really the injuries on defense that are holding them back. After almost, guys, 11 months, let's do it. 49ers, Eagles. We were waiting so long, and so much trash talking all offseason, all week leading up to this. The Niners go into Link, and they took care of business. They dismantled the Eagles. It was 42-19, I do believe. So here's what the win does. It moves the Niners and the Lions to within a game. They're in striking distance of Philly for the 1 seed in the NFC. The Cowboys to within a game of the Eagles for the NFC East lead as well. So San Francisco, has already replaced the Eagles as the favorites to win the conference over on FanDuel Sportsbook. They're plus 160. Philly's fallen to plus 250. San Francisco, this had to just feel good. I'm happy for them. And it is a hard thing to talk and back it up. It almost never happens. So it's literally why I tell people, don't say anything. Undersell, over-deliver. And Debo was kind of like that on our show, but all offseason, all that. Like, to put it out there and to put all your thoughts about what this guy is and what that guy is and boo-hoos and whatever, and then to back it up in this fashion, it should get an award. It's a thing of beauty. And I talked about it. I understood why they felt the way they did after the NFC Championship loss. They did lose Brock Purdy. They wanted to be heavyweight versus heavyweight. But I also felt like all the talking was just adding more pressure for them to perform. I didn't love it for Brock Purdy, and they didn't give an F, and they just did their thing. And our guy, Debo, the most vocal, he finished with 138 total yards, 3 touchdowns, and he really just seemed to sort of savor every second of the game. He was in his bag. The man was in his bag. He was excited. I wish I knew what he was saying in these moments. He'll pretend he forgot what he said in these moments. But, he tried to downplay it to us on the show last week. He did say, he's coming on tomorrow. I can't wait to talk to him. But here's Brock Purdy talking about how much this one meant to Debo and how much his performance sort of means to the locker room.
He had a little history with, obviously, the way things went down last year in the playoff game, and he's definitely looked forward to this game, coming back into this place. So he was pumped about it and stoked and ready to go. And, all I had to do was give him the ball and some space, and he made the rest happen. So really happy for him.
I don't know why he's dressed like Polly Walnuts there, but Brock really showed out well. 314, 4 touchdowns. A shade, a lick, a hair under a perfect passer rating again. And all of this comes in the final 3 quarters of the game. Niners did nothing in the first quarter. It was, I thought it was the outfits that we all saw what our boy Jalen Hurts walked into that place looking. I quote tweeted it and said, oh, and I deleted it because everyone was saying, thought that I was like, I just like the outfit. I like the Louis Vuitton jacket. I wasn't like, everybody calm down about me.
The jacket was fire.
Yeah, everything was fire. It was in the first quarter, at least on that first drive. Very impressive performance. Is there MVP talk? Maybe we'll ask Debo about it. Who did he cast a vote for himself? Did he cast a vote for CMC? Brock Purdy? On the road, in the rain, you can't do better. They had the ball for 13 to 15 minutes, guys, in that first quarter. Niners defense sort of buckled down in the red zone. They forced 2 field goals. That was nice. Our guy, Jake the Make, of course, took care of some business. Everything sort of settled down after that first quarter and sort of speaks to how well both sides of the ball complement each other with this team. Huge win for the Niners. I would be shocked and downright disappointed if we didn't run into these two teams in January. Like, don't even tell me another matchup. This is the one I want, and I'm sure Debo will agree tomorrow. And we'll dig into the Eagles side of things with Taylor. But for now, I'll say this: Philly can't dwell on this one for long because they got a big one in Dallas. This one sets up for a huge game. They've got to face this Cowboys team that is feeling themselves. They've got extra rest. They're in a building where they're 6-0 this season, and the division's up for grabs. So the drama in the NFC is building and building, and I'm here for it. Should we go to Broncos-Texans?
Yes, we absolutely should.
You love the Texans. So do I. We like the Broncos. It could not happen. Man, in Houston, this was such a battle. These are very intriguing teams, both trying to fight it out and get into a playoff position of sorts. Texans, they were able to snap what was a lot of momentum for Sean Payton and company. 5-game win streak, and they're now 7-5. Houston moves into a 4-way tie for the 3 AFC wildcard spots. So they're the odd team out right now, thanks to the tiebreakers. FanDuel Sportsbook, by the way, has them at minus 355, they're telling me in my ear, to get in after that one. So the Broncos, they're live. They've got Cleveland and Pittsburgh losing helped them. The Bills, so they were, they benefited from the atmosphere yesterday. But let's talk about the Texans for a second. Stroud, very good. Nico Collins, incredible. 191 of the Texans' 292 passing yards. This one was more about the defense to me, though. This Texans front completely bottled up the Broncos' run game. It's what they do. It's what they want to do best. They forced Russell Wilson in the passing game to have to beat them, and that's a smart call because Russell Wilson could not beat them. And they just came up with like a big play after play when Russell had to drop back. This one, by the way, to seal the win, oh my gosh, from their big free agent addition, Jimmy Ward, and another two, by the way, from last year's 3rd overall pick, Derek Stingley Jr., who's on a tear of late. Listen, we're at the point where it looks like maybe he was the right pick over Sauce Gardner. I'm just going to say that, or at least it's a valid conversation to have at the water cooler with Gloria from accounting this morning. And then there's this year's 3rd-round pick, Will Anderson Jr., the turnaround on this team, Casario, everybody. It's insane. He had 2 sacks. He had, 10 quarterback pressures? It was insane. He deflected one of the balls Stingley picked up. C.J. Stroud's elevated this franchise, guys, now to what might be the most exciting young squad in the league. But they got to do some damage. And if they're going to do that, it's going to be because the defense is playing like this in these big games. Broncos side, oh, my gosh. I don't want to take away anything from what Anderson and what the defense did and what everybody did, Stingley on the Texans side. I don't want to do that. But this team cannot make passing plays. Those three, I said it on this show. I said, I'm waiting for Russell to have a big game. Because in order for me to really buy into the Broncos' 5-game win streak, I'm for it. I need to see Russell have a big game. Here was your chance. They blanked your run game. Where are you? Do you have it? Does everybody trust you? Are you the guy? 3 interceptions. The worst number for me, though, is they were 0 for 11, guys, on 3rd down. It just isn't working with Russell right now. I mean, it just isn't. Even with the wins, like they're really stacking these because of run game and defense, something that Russell actually usually thrives in when he does take shots downfield. What's happening? What's going on? This was, it was, I don't know. Anemic, I guess, is the word that sort of comes to mind. I know Coach Payton probably can't be too excited or thrilled with what's going on. If we learned anything, guys, this year, it's that he doesn't care about past accolades. Like you saw Randy Gregory, Frank Clark, he doesn't care. Like Sean doesn't have it, in my opinion, to care. So is he, within striking distance, going to just sort of sit idly and let things unfold? Probably not. I don't know what the conversation's going to be with Russell. I don't know how they fix it. But they got to shake something up because I'd like to see them in the playoffs. They're coming to LA, to SoFi next week against the Chargers. Big game. I'd like to see that work out for them. Okay, let's move on, guys, and have Taylor Lewan join us after the break. We've got so much to get into. We got to get into, yes, Michigan as a date with Bama. Ooh. You scared, bro? You scared, bro?
What's that? Me?
You scared?
A little scared.
Ooh. Does that happen? Really?
Yeah.
I love a Tua.
Tua?
I love a Chad.
I know, both are good.
Yeah.
Chad, gosh, Chad was like one of my first earliest broadcasting things. I was doing this flag football sideline,
Yeah.
the AFFL, and it was him and Tio. And opposing, and I had to deal with them all weekend. If I
Going
deal with
back
them,
and forth?
it was just there. And Michael Vick was there, and it was this whole and it was it was really good, invaluable lessons for me. Just there,
Dealing with the personality.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to deal with their personalities.
Yeah.
It really was a pleasure.
Great TV.
And great in general. So he's always super fun. And he's inside the NFL now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did.
I like that he's back. He took a beat. I think a lot of it, I haven't talked to him, but I assume family and figuring stuff out, and he's so involved in just like Michael Vick is in his daughter's stuff.
Yeah.
But I like that he's back in the mix and
Me too.
he has a voice. I love that.
And he was working
He's
with
everywhere.
Fox for the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's really trying to round out his TV personality.
Yeah. And Tua, Tua's our guy. How about Tua?
That would be fun to do a crossover with either of them. Honestly, either.
Sounds like a lot.
You can do it. You've got this. It'll be fun.
Marissa's talking about Manningcast. Guys, I get to be on Manningcast.
We're so excited.
For Jags, Bengals at Jags.
Tune in tonight. Who do you think's gonna mess with you more, Peyton or Eli?
Peyton.
Peyton for sure.
I think Eli's so sweet.
I know.
Not that Peyton isn't, but yeah. I think the whole thing is they just mess with one another, and you're just kind of there babysitting two little brothers.
I kind of love that vibe.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that.
It's gonna be good.
Which is what makes it work.
Peyton shoots it in his buddy's garage.
Yeah, what is
I
he
know,
doing?
I love that. It
That's
looks great
awesome.
though.
Yeah. It's you owe me a favor.
Okay, Taylor, Lewan.
Too strong to be defeated. My strength is within.
Taylor Lewan, the big fella, in for the touchdown.
And today I will win.
It's Monday, so you got to bring in Taylor Lewan. Here's our guy, our Pro Bowl left tackle for the Tennessee Titans, co-host of the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Taylor, how you doing? Spooktober's back, huh?
Glad to be here. Yeah, I'm just celebrating, man. Just always in the mood for a little Spooktober. Got the tree up at the house, though. Christmas is getting wild out here in the Lewan household, so it's awesome.
Nothing says Christmas like getting wild in a Spooktober shirt at the Lewan household. We love it. You and me have some beef to take care of with you, me, Will Compton, Bussin' with the Boys. We've got to set a podcast time. I'd like to come in. I'd like to put Will in a headlock and give him a noogie. What do you think?
That sounds like a fair deal to me. How's the offseason look for you? You want to get that done?
We need to do it ASAP because he came after Dolly, and I just cannot. We cannot have him coming for Dolly.
He just doesn't get it, man. He grew up in Missouri, and he just spent so much time watching WWE or something and doesn't notice the simple beauties of life. And a simple beauty is Dolly Parton. The ability to stand up there with a beautiful show and just say and sing 9 to 5 and all the hits.
Yeah.
It's just it's gross his take
She
on
sang
that. But,
Jolene out there after whatever Jack Harlow decided to do up in the Motor City in some paper mache igloo, and an absolute icon. And Will is saying she's over.
Yeah, Will just doesn't understand country music. He doesn't
Will's a liability.
Was Dolly Parton up there hanging on the ledge, kind of holding on for dear life as she was belting out the lyrics? No question. But you just gotta sit there and awe and be like, God damn, that's Dolly, baby.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get into this with you right now. Instead, we're going to get into last night. I mean, I was so annoyed because it was a great game, and I want to Jordan Love is so good, and Christian Watson, and the Packers are probably going to make the playoffs. But then the officiating happened, and I really do. I do not enjoy talking about controversial calls, but they permeated the entire thing and took over on the final drive. None bigger than this. Talk me through the MVS.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pass interference if I ever saw one, right? I mean, that's exactly what it is. I think the Packers are just they're so rich in quarterbacks, man. For every year for 45 years it seems like they're just doing it, and Love is just coming along, man. It's the refereeing. We've talked about it on the show, I think, every single week, but we got to get this gray area BS out of the way. I don't know if we need to go to AI generated referees or what, because it's just there's too much for people to look at and just how they interpret the rules as opposed to black and white rules, and it's just difficult.
Is there anybody out there that thinks that shouldn't have been called? Like, that's what I like. What?
I don't know. Maybe call Dean Blandino, because he seems like he gets calls wrong all the time. But if you're draped over a guy before when the ball is 5 yards away from you, it's going to be pass interference, or it should be pass interference.
It's got to be called.
Back and forth. Yeah, it's got to be called. It absolutely has to. I think that's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. But good for the Packers, man. Unreal. Yeah. Making the Chiefs look human.
It's true. And for the Packers, Jordan Love, like, what a solid performance he had. Again, another 300-yard game, no interceptions. Was this enough, this performance against this Chiefs, which obviously are dealing with some stuff on defense, whatever? Like, do you think they can take the final spot? Their schedules.
For the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think they can absolutely. Yeah, pull that thing up.
Pull that thing up,
producer.
Pull that thing up.
Pull it up, producer.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Let me get in here. My eyes
No,
are bad.
I meant the schedule. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they can get in there, though.
They don't play a team with a winning record down the stretch. They got the Vikings and Bears to round it off. Panthers, Bucks, Giants this week. Like, they could win out and get in the playoffs.
They absolutely could. The Vikings, to me, are a team that it's such a question mark. I mean, Josh Dobbs had a great start, and they throw so many picks. Thank God they're on a bye this week, because you need to shake that thing off. But the Packers really are one of those teams, dude. They could really make it happen, jump in there late, and I don't think they're going to make much damage. The NFC, those top two teams in the NFC are so legit, which we saw yesterday.
It doesn't even matter. Okay, so we did see those last year, and obviously Niners, they were the favorite. They go in there, they blow out the Eagles. Debo, friend of the show, family. He's our family. He talked, his talk leading into this one. He backed it up. He had 3 touchdowns. Have you ever seen a player in your time back up trash talk as strongly as he did?
No. Honestly, most of the times.
Maybe run the table or relax, maybe.
Yeah, most of the time I see guys talk trash, it usually ends horrible for them. Perfect example, Earl Thomas, 2019, #1 seed with the Ravens. We ain't scared of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry literally took Earl and turned him into a fullback for him on a run and just ran for like 190 yards. It's like, that seems to be a consistent theme. Debo is that dude. And listen, I know what I said on this show before. Brock Purdy is that guy. He really is that dude, man. Just a couple points shy of a perfect record, like you said. Like, it is really, they are the best team in the NFL. And after what we saw yesterday, it's not close. If they stay healthy, they're the team.
They were the team week 1. Like, week 1, I was like, oh, this is a January-looking team, when everybody else is like preseason week 4 to kick off the season. It looked amazing. You heard this stuff about Brock from whoever you heard it from. Are you hearing anything about him now? Like, anything? Like, when people.
That source has gone cold.
Okay.
They won't text me back. I send them the stats. Hey, what do you have to say about this? And they're like, no response.
Interesting. When people are hitting you up, like the Kittles of the world or the Warners or whoever, when they were like defending him, like that mixed with the performance, this is an MVP caliber player at this point, right? Look at the odds.
Yes.
Here. What do you think? Brock as MVP?
I mean, if you look at that, I think Lamar should be a little bit higher, maybe even 2-2. But Brock has the aliens around him, and if they're able to play that well on defense, he's going to show out the way he does. He will probably win this MVP. I don't know about Dak. Here's what worries me about Dak. It's not him as a player. It's the coaching staff of situational football. And you saw it with the Seahawks. They almost lost that game, and they were down. They had to come back. That was great. But even their two-minute management and halftime and towards the end of the game when they threw it, when they should have been running the ball on a 4-minute drive, like, that's the type of stuff that's going to get you beat and not get you that accolade at the end. Because, I mean, MVP should always go to the quarterback. It should go to the quarterback. But you need the wins. You need the coaches and the players around you to help you out. And Brock Purdy has it. He's got the coaching staff around him. He's got the aliens around him. And he definitely is a guy that can be the MVP this year.
I don't know. Every week we're talking about another MVP at quarterback spot, and none of them are really like nuking each other. They're all sort of in the mix. And like, the running back on this team deserves to be the MVP. Come on.
A running back on you talking about Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, if you're a voter and you get to vote, and it's between Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was over 1,000 yards rushing already. You can't knock him. He had a 100-yard game. Nobody's even talking about it.
I know, but I mean, Christian McCaffrey is the great white hope at running back. He's an absolute stud. Don't get me wrong, but JJ Watt had a good reference to this. The year he had like 20 and a half sacks, fumble recovery, 5 touchdowns, all that stuff is like the quarterback, the leader of the team, the most valuable asset in all the franchise should win the MVP. And I get it. Like, if I had to pick between those two guys, who am I taking? I'm taking CMC. That's my boy. I love him to death. And he's a stud. He's like that dude that you put a franchise around. Luckily, the 49ers, their front office, everybody has done such an amazing job of putting that team together, and they gel so well. Like, they got MVPs all over that place.
Yeah. I don't think anything Brock Purdy does, winning the Super Bowl included, is going to change that people are a little sus on him.
Yeah, and I think that'll continue to happen when, he can let people talk as they're backing up a Brinks truck to him in a couple of years and giving him the biggest contract of all time. Like, that's, if you keep that kind of talent around him and he keeps producing like that, like, let the haters fade. I'm sure Tom Brady had the same thing when he was his first couple of years of starting. So it's one of those deals that's like, that becomes noise. My source, me saying it on your show, just becomes white noise. It doesn't matter. It helps him sleep at night.
Yeah,
he's a stud.
He doesn't seem to care at all, and I like that he came out and said Debo clearly had some beef. He got some things going on with him, so he sees what's going on, but he didn't look in crazy conditions after the first quarter when things are a little shaky. To sort of come out of that is so impressive. But the Eagles' defense also, wasn't the best yesterday. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're after the game ended, they're now the 24th ranked defense in the league after yesterday. What is the concern with this team? Because they got to put it behind them. They got a big game against the Cowboys, basically for the division. But what happened here yesterday? It felt like there was a lot of criticism about their speed. They're not really going for it. So they're sort of being questioned as far as effort, even? What did you make of it?
I didn't think it was an effort issue or anything like that. What I thought of it is a game that's been talked about or thought of in the 49ers locker room since, January 22nd, 2022, or whenever the date was when the NFC Championship happened, because they had so many injuries and Eagles were talking so much trash. And that just kept getting the 49ers going. The 49ers played on a level that nobody expected us to come. They're 3.5 favorites going to Philly, which was crazy to me to even think about. But I mean, they had that kind of production. We're going to see this game again, and I think it's going to be a much closer game in the playoffs. That team, dude, we've talked about it all year. 49ers, Eagles are the two best put together teams in all of the NFL. They got Kevin Byard from the Titans, my boy KB. They've got a lot of studs in the middle. They've been drafting the whole team of Georgia for the last 4 years. They're going to be all right. It's just one of those games where your mouth did more work than your actual legs. And I think when we go into the NFC Championship or whenever those teams do play in the playoffs, which they are going to play, it's going to be a quiet week, I bet. I bet no one's saying a whole lot. Everyone's kind of keeping themselves, and that's when we'll see that type of speed. Maybe they slept on them a little bit because they did destroy them the year before.
Maybe they, there's definitely that. I don't know I don't know. Biggest game of the year. Didn't work out. I do want to see these two teams again. What did you make? And let's just get to it. This is trending all day yesterday. Greenlaw versus Dom. Who knew this would be the heavyweight bout that we didn't know we needed? So this is the Eagles' head of security. For those of you who don't know, he's like a celebrity kind of, but he's not on the team. He's not a coach on the team. So that got Kyle upset. When this was going down, what were you thinking?
I was thinking Greenlaw getting kicked out is absolutely ridiculous. He puts his hand in his face. Dude, shout out Dom. Guy's been in that franchise for 25 years as head of security. He's just, you tell everybody loves him. Eagles fans were putting up highlights of him just walking off a bus. That is cool. Should Dom have done that? Absolutely not. You're on the sideline. You got to kind of stay in your lane in that type of situation. But we go back to referees getting kicked out of the game. That's nuts to me. That would happen. That's just crazy.
So what should have happened and what should happen going forward? Greenlaw should not have been kicked out, fine. But when something like this goes down, it's the head of security. Kyle Shanahan comes out and says somebody who's not actually a part of the game is able to inflict something to get in my players' faces. That's unacceptable. So should Dom's sideline privileges be revoked? Should there be some sort of what should happen here? Nothing?
No. I think you walk into the office and they sit down. They say, "Hey, listen, we appreciate what you're doing, but let's not just jump into the field of play and get into a guy's face." Allow the players to do that, coaches to do that, because there's been multiple situations where there's a play on the sideline and players and coaches are kind of getting in the rough, and it's kind of like, oh, you're in their territory, you got to get out of there. For Dom, it's I don't think it needs to be anything hey, you're done, you're fired, you're all this, your privileges have been revoked. I think it's just a hilarious like storyline in week 13 of the NFL. I think it's just crazy that had affected a player being ejected, which is crazy. Was there even contact? It was like a nose whisk.
It was, yeah. I mean, it wasn't cool. Come on, like Taylor.
Of Dom?
Yeah.
No, see, I disagree. I think that, to me, that's cool. I thought that was cool of Dom getting there and roughing it up and separating some stuff and just taking his job super, super serious. I'm the security guy. I'm this dude. But he can't do that. To me, I was like,
you can't say he can't do that if you like that he did. Okay, got it.
No, yeah. You can't do it, but hey, that was kind of cool. Yeah. That was a for the boys move.
My producer Richard's always getting in my ear, but I can never hear him. So Richard, play that again. I want to ask Taylor what you want me to ask him. The controller wants to know, did anybody ever in your career mess with you that was a non-player? Did you ever have your version of a big Dom? Great question.
There was one situation. We were playing the Houston Texans, and there was a playoff in the Texans sidelines, and I kind of get in there and get my guy and bring him back. I think it was Marcus. He scrambled and ran, and he was kind of on the ground. I get him up, and I start talking trash to a bunch of people, and I realize I'm kind of getting circled like a pack of wild dogs on prey, and I'm the prey. And I start to back up, and I bump into somebody, and I turn around, and it's a coach, and I'm like, hey, I get to say something like, F you too, F you. I gotta get in that guy's face. And the guy's like, who the hell is this guy? And I jog off. Fun story, that was Mike Vrabel, and he was my coach 2 months later. So that was a fun situation for me to break down.
Full circle moment. Big Dom, a coach coming to a team to coach near you. Who knows? I want to get into your Titans. We have to, because this is like, was this the craziest game of the year? Definitely the most odd and entertaining game of the weekend. We got overtime, multiple blocked punts. Ryan Tannehill comes in as an emergency field goal holder. And it was a roller coaster ride a la Miami Dolphins celebration with Will Levis. It was great. What is your takeaway from seeing what went on between DeAndre Hopkins and Will Levis?
I think this was a win for the Titans all the way through, except for the win-loss column. I think, you showed some good things on defense with Amani Hooker getting 6. You see Will Levis jumping, getting a first down. You see, DeAndre Hopkins getting touchdowns, moving the ball, scoring points. We go to overtime with a divisional opponent, and it ends up not going our way. And that's a big W for the Titans, because we're now Tim Kelly showing he can call the offense. We can score points. The Colts are a good ball club that are kind of in the hunt right now. And also, you're taking the L, which is a W, because now our draft stock's even better. You get that win, it's like, okay, great, but we're not making the playoffs or anything like that. Entertaining game. Will Levis, man, he said he played a bad game. Statistically, he did have a bad game, but like the guy's got that salt. He's got that vigor.
What am I supposed to do with salt? Talk to me. Like, what am I supposed to make of this young Will Levis?
He's a tough guy, doesn't have a whole lot of tools around him right now. You see he's force-feeding DeAndre Hopkins a lot. Treylon Burks played 7 snaps in the game, who was a first-round pick in 2018 when we traded away A.J. Brown. It's just this play right here is incredible. Like, if there's an end zone view where he throws it, and the minute he throws it, he starts sprinting after the ball, hitting it out, recovering it like that.
But this is chaotic.
Chaotic, and that's what it's going to be until we get pieces around him. The old line has kind of been in shambles. The wide receiver room has not had a whole lot of consistency. DeAndre Hopkins is hot and he's cold, and that's not him. DeAndre Hopkins, you give him the ball, he's going to do work with it. But there's not a whole lot of tools. Like the Titans franchise, as far as like having like top tier players right now, it's not where it needs to be. And so that's where losing this game in the fashion you did is my spin zone, to being like, that's a win for us, boys. That's a big win for us.
That's a win always for the boys. Okay, big weekend for you, my friend, and your Michigan boys, because they're in the college playoff. I literally only pay attention to this because of you. So I know that they're the 1 seed. I know with that top spot comes their opponent, Alabama. I saw the footage of the conference banquet hall, and nobody was happy about it. Did they get it right with the top 4? And what is your concern level with having to go up against Bama?
Yeah, so anytime you want success, obviously it's going to be a harder road, but you want the path of least resistance. And my path in my mind was Florida State. They have a 3rd-string quarterback. They're undefeated to me. Like, hey, let them in. I understand why the committee did. They probably got it right, because you can't put Alabama in and not put Texas, who beat them in September. Now, I had the same kind of feeling as what we saw in that video. I don't know what their true emotions were. Maybe they wanted Florida State and they saw Alabama and they were bummed out by that. I don't know. When 2012, we played the Cowboy Classic in Dallas Stadium, and we got destroyed 42-14. Derrick Henry was on that team and he was on the bench. That's how good that team was. So is there a level of concern? Yes. But who's the big bad wolf in college football? And that's the SEC. And so this is just the road you have to go on to win the national championship. You're going to see them eventually anyway. Why not now?
Are they going to win?
Yes, they're going to win.
I'm excited for you. I don't even know. I don't even know anything about it. I know that the Jags and Bengals play tonight. On your way out, tell me who's winning and why.
I think the Jags are going to win. The Bengals are without Joe Burrow. We saw what happens even when he had a calf injury. The Jags are going to win this game. They're
Jags are
going
to win this game. You know, if they win, they get the 1 seed in the AFC.
That is just crazy.
Amazing.
They're a good ball club. I hate it. I hate that I'm a fan of CJ Stroud and the Jags are really good. Like, it's just not a fun time for me.
I think you'll be okay. I think it's a pretty good time to be Taylor Lewan. All right, we will be back after this. We got more games to get into. Couldn't get into the Steelers with our boy Taylor Lewan because we got so much other good stuff to react to. We will get into that Steelers situation. We'll dish out some attaboys. Khalil Mack, I see you. Also, Mike Evans, attaboy Hall of Famer. He's unreal.
Unreal.
And so quiet and like.
So good to the community.
Can't believe all these teams were on a bye this week.
Yeah.
So Mike Evans played with Tom Brady, Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Griffin, and Blaine Gabbert.
Wow.
And he's had 10 straight years of 1,000 plus. And Baker, that's insane.
He's a stud.
Really good.
Stud.
I feel like we're properly reacting to that, but
No,
a little bit of
we
an under.
completely undervalue him.
right?
Always have.
I think that's crazy.
Because of Brady, then they weren't good or content,
Yeah.
about the team he's on too.
Yeah,
He also carries himself.
yeah. But he's still eating.
Kyle Brandt would say on Good Morning Football that like receiver names, like Mike Evans is such like a just like a not doesn't pop off
Yeah.
those that matters too.
Yeah,
It's a part of like the whole branding
yeah.
of like what a receiver. It's interesting where they are, what they were like. The Saints sort of ran things while he was down there.
Chad Johnson's kind of a boring name. Until he went to Chad
Nakua.
Ochocinco. Yeah.
Yeah, Chad Johnson, exactly. But Ochocinco was like,
Ochocinco.
oh!
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, or like,
AJ Brown.
yeah.
Gotta get him a nickname. Like
I think like
Megatron.
even
Megatron.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Puka Nakua's got the best name. That just rolls off the
Yeah.
tongue.
But it's like exciting. It's fun to say.
Yeah.
It's fun to,
It rules.
yeah.
I love Puka. Devontae Smith? Hunter Hoffman? I like that name.
Dalton Kincaid.
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
Justin Jefferson sounds like a side character on a 90s sitcom.
JJ.
Very true.
Okay. That sounds great.
Who else has a good name? Jamar Chase. That's a great one.
We're all about the love on Monday mornings here on the Up and Adam Show, guys. Thanks for the chat. I'm seeing a lot. Oh yeah, let's go Huskies. Let's go Huskies. One of those 4 teams. Can I name them? You think?
Yeah.
Huskies.
there we
Well,
go.
Michigan and Alabama are facing each other, and then FSU. People were not happy that they got left out, so it's going to be Washington facing. Don't tell me, Georgia. No, Georgia got left out. Don't tell me. Oh, I hate college. I don't even know what that means. I don't know. Oh, who is it? Tell me.
Hook 'em horns, Texas.
Oh, Texas. Yeah. All right. Cool. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. We talk NFL on our show. We like to hand out atta boys, atta baby. We spotlight players who deserve some love for their performances. We're going to start with a guy who used to play for the Bears. He wore the number 52. He's absolutely terrifying, and now he plays for the Chargers. And what he did yesterday was crazy. He racked up not one but 2 sacks. LA, what was it, like 6-0? Oh my God, what a weird score. You know his teammate Keenan Allen. Keenan, did you not love watching this go down on the sidelines? Keenan, come on.
Atta boy, man. Atta go.
Atta goat. Those 2 sacks helped the Chargers pick up their first shutout since 2017. That's amazing. And he's now your league leader with 15 sacks on the season. Shh, quietly. Shh. Russell Wilson, look out this week. Sorry. And that ties in, by the way, for his career high. And that was with the Raiders back in 2015. So, like I said, Russell Wilson, good luck. We're also going to shout out, listen, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill was crazy. What I say, if Tua was going to have a good game, it was going to be this matchup. I thought he was going to have 400 yards. I was counting him. That first quarter was insane, like 1,000,000 yards to Tyreek. He was great, but let's give some love also to Dolphins linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, because all the highlights, yes, are rightfully so offensively, but Van Ginkel's impact yesterday was insane. He moves into the starting lineup for the injured Jalen Phillips. He comes up with 5 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 2 pass breakups, and this pick 6 that you're watching. I mean, and that was off of my boy, Sam Howell. Hey, Coach Lou, do you appreciate this kind of an effort out of a defensive stud whenever he's talking offense? Come on, Coach.
Atta boy, atta baby.
All right, Coach Lou. Wow, Coach Lou, you guys are ready for those Jags tonight. Listen, the injuries are mounting for the Dolphins defense, but guys like Van Ginkel stepping up, Miami not missing a beat. We see you, Dolphins. Okay, finally, let's keep it in Florida here for Mike Evans. Another monster day. Leads the Bucs to a win. 7 grabs, 162 yards. Let's just let him run. Look at that yak. Unbelievable. Long touchdown. Levante David has to appreciate that effort, right? Levante, come on. What you've seen from him in 10 years? Come on. Levante!
Atta boy. Good job.
Attaboy, good job. Well, Levante, I thought you'd be more excited than that. He must really let you have it in practice, because 162 yards, that pushes him to over 1,000, 1,012 to be exact, making him the first player in NFL history to play for a decade and have 1,000 receiving yards in every single season, no matter who his quarterbacks are. Marissa, do you have the list of quarterbacks? You had it at some point? Listen, he's averaging 83.4 yards per game this season, putting him on pace for like 1,400 yards. That would be the second highest total of his entire career. Who are the quarterbacks that he's caught 1,000 yards from year in, year out?
Tom Brady, obviously, Jameis Winston, Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Griffin, and Blaine Gabbert.
That's stupid.
That's crazy.
It's stupid, and he's so amazing. By the way, he's keeping the Bucs in it. They're just a game back of the Falcons for first place in the NFC South. All right, you guys can cash in, balling out this NBA season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get, this is awesome, $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 money line bet wins. That's cool. Now is the perfect time to join FanDuel. The app, easy to use. There's a lot of ways, guys, to bet. There's same-game parlays, of course. There's player props, which are fun. First baskets, my favorite, because they're one and done. Little quickies over at FanDuel Sportsbook. It's great. So download the app today. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA, which I know more about than college football. Okay, when we get back, we're going to break down more of the fallout from tricky Week 13. A lot of teams on the bye. I'd like to get into the Steelers a little bit, but we're going to get into maybe Puka Nacua as well in that OG matchup. Yes. What time were we supposed to go with Taylor till? 30, right? Oh, he's 30? We went to 35 today. Okay. I'm just curious with the time. No, I'm just curious because we usually go, I just want to know for my own thing. We usually go to 30. And if it's like 30, 31 with Taylor, I'm like, ooh, can I ask another one? But we went to 35 with him. So how are we light?
Yeah, because that didn't feel.
No, it felt heavy.
Not at all.
It was 5 minutes heavy. So I don't know, I'm confused how we're 10 minutes light. And I feel like the A block was so long. Yeah. The A block. Let's dig into some more of these games. Big thanks to Taylor Lewan, as always, for popping by and breaking some stuff down. We didn't get to Browns-Rams, so let's start in L.A. Rams looked good. This was the OG matchup, 38-year-old Flacco going up against 36-ish-year-old Matthew Stafford. I mean, they put up 36 on the Browns defense on the way to a big win. Who does that? And they inch closer, these Rams, to snagging one of the wild card spots in the NFC. And here is our guy, rookie sensation, Puka Nacua. Not just a cute storyline from August, he's crushing it, and he was soaking in the victory.
Yo, it's your boy Puka, and we back here at SoFi. We back here at SoFi, the guys. And we get the dub back here at SoFi. Appreciate you guys. Browns, dub. Let's get it!
He was incredible, truly, there and on the field. And really, this Rams offense looks revitalized. They look young. They look full of life as far as talent's concerned. Matthew Stafford put up 279 and 3 scores. Kyron Williams, who we talk about a lot on this show, had another 100-yard day with a score. And Puka posted 134 and a touchdown of his own. The Rams needed some of these late-round draft picks to sort of pan out, since they haven't made a single first-round selection with Sean McVay, F them picks, blah, blah, blah. Kyron and Puka, what a freaking tandem these two young cats are. Now they're closing in on, even money and making the playoffs, these Rams. They're plus 164 on FanDuel Sportsbook. On the Browns side, I told y'all on Wednesday this was coming. Nobody cares about the road home splits. Listen, this defense is not the same defense on the road. Now do you believe me? Flacco gave them a solid game. They could not get stops. Why? I don't get it. They return to Cleveland next week to take on the Jags, but their playoff spot is really at risk of slipping away now because they have back-to-back losses. They like playing in the slop and muck and their defense in a beautiful place like SoFi, where they should be like, this is great. Let's ball out. They could not get stops in this game. Their splits are a thing, and it might hold them back. Okay, Lions-Saints takeaways. Let's go to New Orleans. This is a wild one. Lions-Saints, Detroit nearly blew a 21-zip lead. They hold on, and they get the win. Despite the anxiety at the end, Dan Campbell isn't letting the close call sort of take away from what his team accomplished. Here he is after the game.
It wasn't ideal. You don't always want it to be that way, but my God, man, to be able to hang in there and, they're able to come back and we just answer back and then we're able to close it out. I mean, it's a hell of a win now. I'm not going to take that away from us.
Lions moved to 9-3, which gives them their best record through 12 games since 1962. Are we joking? That puts them a game back of the Eagles now for the 1 seed. And this win was all about Rob Gronkowski's favorite guy, the rookie tight end. I love this young talent taking over. Sam Laporta racked up 140 yards and a score in this one. He's the first rookie tight end to put up 140 plus and a score since Pete Mitchell in 1995. Who? Shout out to our friend Carmen Vitale at Fox Sports, our girl, pointing that out. He's now 4th among tight ends in receiving with 679 yards, tied for first, 6 touchdown catches as well. This is a star you're looking at. And he's really one of the biggest reasons that this offense has been so explosive and a contender this year. They're crushing it with this kid. We love young talent. We love drafting well and the like. And we like being right about guys. Was I convinced about Sam Laporta? No. Gronk was, and he was right. Guys, keep the tweets coming at Up and Adam Show. Thank you guys so much. We do have a giveaway, guys, going on YouTube. I don't know how it works. I don't know what we're giving away, but go subscribe if you haven't already to at Up and Adam Show on YouTube for some giveaways in a bit when we get, I think 40K is what we're looking for. Let's get to that. 40K sounds easy. Let's do that by the end of today. Okay, moving on. Let's go Nashville. Colts, Titans. Multiple blocked punts. We talked about this with Taylor. The interception return for a 2-point conversion, the entire Will Levis experience. Indy able to walk out with the win and on the right side of the playoff picture. Here's Michael Pittman Jr. celebrating the walk-off touchdown with his squad. I love this for him. He's a friend of the show. Colts have won 4 straight. They're finding a way to win. Minshew to Pittman got them the walk-off win. But it was a sequence I've never really seen before that really got them this win. Indy blocked, and when I'm saying I haven't seen it, Hamilton said he's never seen it, okay? Indy blocked back-to-back punts. The first one scooped up by Grant Stewart for a score. The second one you're seeing timed up and swatted down by my old friend, Crazy Tony Brown, okay? That one set up a field goal. And it's not often we talk about special teams as like the total difference maker on anything, but it was here for the Colts. And this is why and the way that this team comes up with different ways to win every week. It's really a credit to Marissa McBride's candidate for Coach of the Year. And after what Mike Tomlin did not do yesterday, he's looking good, your boy Shane Steichen.
4 in a row? I miss him every day. Look at our offense. Oh, my God, he's doing great. All the drama.
Yeah, and it's him, but it's also, when with a coach comes their coaching staff, who they pluck, who they're able to take away. And his special teams coordinator, Brian Mason, shout out to you for what you did yesterday. I think we all kind of expected the Colts to just kind of go away, like softly into the night. But this team's relentless. They've got some edge. They're fighting for Shane Steichen and company, and they're going to have a legit shot. If you look at FanDuel Sportsbook odds, -170 to find their way into the playoffs now. Okay, that's pretty incredible, given where this team was a month ago. And you saw the shot of Michael Pittman there, who joined our show. Oh, hello. Hello, lights flickering in and out. Hello. Michael Pittman was on our show not long ago, a couple months ago. And I asked him, of course, and this was before Anthony Richardson got hurt, and he had nothing but the most incredible things to say about Richardson. But I also said, listen, Gardner had to go in there. Like, what do you make of Gardner? And he goes, he basically said, he needs to be a starter. He is good enough to be a starter. He should be one of 32. And Gardner was just a madman out there. And he's also adding to that relentlessness. Like, what they're doing in different ways every week is really, really impressive. So congrats to them. Now, let's move on to Pittsburgh. We didn't get to this one with Taylor. So this one was a long guy. This was a Titanic. This is a Lord of the Rings thing, because there were 2 long delays due to weather. Kenny Pickett gets injured. Cardinals pull off just a stupid upset. How did this happen? Well, I told you a little bit about James Conner, and I said he was going to score a touchdown. He scores 2. And here he is talking about how special it was to kind of come back. And this isn't, of course, just where he played in the NFL for the Steelers, but his college ball as well.
Yeah, everything about this place, man, is just special. I was a baby, University of Pittsburgh, 18 years old, with a goal in mind of, getting to the NFL, not knowing how I was going to do it, but just trying to figure it out as I got here in Heinz Field, or Acrisure now, is just where it started. So special energy in here for sure.
105 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. He was brilliant, and he's one of the best stories in the NFL. All the adversity he's faced, he's such an inspiration. The Cardinals have had such a rough year. The bigger stories when it comes to the Steelers side of things. Kenny Pickett, he's ruled out after injuring his ankle early in the game. You see glimpses of him on the sideline. He's rocking the boot, right? So he's expected to get surgery. He'll be out a couple of weeks. Well, what does that mean? That it might be the Mitchell Trubisky show from here on out. And T.J. Watt got banged up as well. So the Steelers, minus 142 to get into the playoffs. Going to be a rough road, though. They get the Patriots next week. They still have to go on the road. Indy, Seattle, Baltimore down the stretch. You don't want your playoff hopes to hinge on a Week 18 at the Ravens. You just don't. It's not pretty. It's not cute. Not a good look. I do not love that for you. I do not love that for you, Steelers. Do not let this be the year that Tomlin unravels and all of that. Like, coach Mitchell Trubisky up. Like the amazing coach of the year candidate that you are. Like the GOAT that you are, Tomlin, and get it done. I think we should talk about what happened with the Jets. Just because we like to hit every game. Because every game's still kind of relevant and fun. And like every week now, if it's going to get smaller and smaller, we're going to care about less teams. So this was a disgusting game. This was a disgusting slop fest in the Meadowlands. It was a swamp, okay? Desmond Ridder and the Falcons came up with a 13-8 win. They completed one pass to a wide receiver. Shame on you. One pass to a wide receiver. They do hang on to first place in the NFC South, though, because why not? And here is Jesse Bates, the great, after the game.
Hey, we out here in New York City, baby. Just got another dub. That's 2 in a row. Hey, let's keep on building. Hey, we need a packed house versus the Bucks next week in our own stadium, baby. Let's get it. Rise up.
That man and this defense, they're fueling teams to wins. We talked about Jesse Bates and the big game he had last week against the Saints. We talked about him with Coach Lewan, who goes, I taught him everything he knows, shedding tears about these amazing plays he has. And again, yesterday, he picks off Tim Boyle. He's a career-high 7-interception guy on the year now. And he's been the driving force behind this turnaround. This was like the biggest pinata of the NFL year in, year out. Falcons defense, terrible. I mean, they were 27th in total a year ago, 23rd in scoring. They're now the 7th best scoring defense in the league. That has Jesse Bates' name and paws all over it. 10th in total defense, by the way. And it's not just him. You got Calais Campbell, some veteran presence in there. You got feisty Bud Dupree there as well, right? So I know it was the Jets. I know it was a little ugly. This is another strong showing from this group. And if they can keep it rolling against the Bucs next week, they take control of the division. Minus 190, I believe, to win the South right now. The Bucs plus 340, Saints plus 370, I believe. So that's pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Minus 190. Not bad. Very interesting. Did we miss any games?
No.
I think we won. I think we might have hit them all today.
Yeah. That was pretty impressive.
Did we miss any? So many teams on bye.
True.
Tomorrow, guys, we're going to have Deebo Samuel on the show. Or I haven't heard otherwise, but nobody tells me anything. So maybe he's not on, but I hope he's on. I hope he's on. And he said last week, I'll see you bright and early. He called the shot, but he's never said that before. So they're really like, oh. We've got that. We'll have your recap from Bengals Jags, of course, tomorrow morning. We have Gronk on Wednesday. We have a stupid guest on Wednesday as well, like the most insane, absurd guest of all time. So can't wait for that. And then who knows for the rest of the week. Let us know your thoughts on tonight. Call your shot. Go have some fun over at FanDuel Sportsbook for tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Watch the Manning Cast, y'all.
Manning Cast.
All right. Oh, boy. I'm going home.